What's up, guys? It's Dr. Croatia. It's Wednesday, July the 18th. It is a beautiful, beautiful summer day. The humidity is gone. If it's your first time tuning in, welcome. My goal is to qualify for the CrossFit Games by the time I'm 55. I'm 38 years old now. More importantly than that, I'm more interested in leaving a legacy for my two children and the family that's yet to come, that has not been born or created. And I think it's a good episode. It's a good episode. I got some cool things to talk about. The benefit for you. So the World Cup is over, and Croatia lost. And in my opinion, it was tragic. It was a tragic loss. I mean, good for France. But there's always there's a part of me that's always a bitter 8-year-old. And it was so fun getting together with everybody at the club. And I remember the game was over and I was like disappointed, and I just felt that bitterness and that disgust inside. And a good buddy of mine, Mate, if you're listening, shout out, homeboy, framed it really nice. He's like, if I were to tell you at the beginning of the tournament that Croatia would be second, how would you feel? And obviously I would feel happy. And I understand the logic. I understand the reasoning behind, and he's correct, 100% correct. However, I still festered and I wanted to let it go. I hate, I don't like feeling that way. There's no reason for it. So I ended up, and I'll save the review of the book until I'm done, but I ended up buying a book called Letting Go by David Hawkins. And I'm listening to it, and it's been really good. And the strategy is so counter culture, but it's interesting how things happen in life. Last week, the episode was all about, on the podcast, it was all about, being aware, right? Awareness is the first thing. If you're not aware, then you can't change. And his whole book is, instead of, trying to push aside these negative emotions when they happen, about just accepting them and sitting with them and letting them run their course and experiencing them and then letting them go. And I realized that for a lot of these emotions that I've had throughout my life, I understood the concept of awareness, but I wasn't truly being aware of what it is that I was experiencing. So over the past week, I've just been letting myself experience everything. I mean, and it started with, and it was interesting, it was last Thursday, and last Thursday you'll see it's part of the video coming up with me training. Part of the workout was just this long ass, aerodyne bike, and then pull-ups, and then aerodyne bike, and then handstand push-ups, and then aerodyne bike, and then toes to bar, and just repeat. And it was painful. Oh my God, it was hurting. But instead of trying to make my mind not focus on the pain, I just started accepting the pain. I experienced it for what it was. And I've been trying to do that all week, every time I feel fear. And it's actually shocking how often I have these emotions, or anxiety, or jealousy, or envy, or whatever emotion that we don't necessarily even want to admit to ourselves that we're having. If I can catch myself going through it, I just sit with it and I let it do its thing. And it's been super interesting. It's been much easier and much more effective to not fight, suppress, resist. That old programming for me was, you're scared of, this was my thought process. I'm not saying this applies to you, but it was you're scared of nothing, you're being a dummy, let it go. You're anxious, there's nothing to be anxious about, you're being a dummy, let it go. Or forget about it, or worry about something else. Instead, it's been more accepting of the fact that, this is how I feel. I sit with the feelings, I think about, the increased heart rate and the pit in my stomach and all that wonderful stuff. And then when I'm ready, I make the choice to let it go and focus on how I want to feel. And it's been so far so good. I mean, it's been only a week. I know there's some deep-rooted stuff that I need to talk about and that I need to fix, and it's funny how it all stems from soccer. It always comes back to soccer and Croatia finishing second at the World Cup. There's a great clip of my dad and I in the car coming up, by far my favorite one. We're in such a good mood. We're driving on to the club. It's just so much fun. I hope you're having a great week. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback as always, and have a good week. Talk soon.
ovak svijeta.
I onda?
Samo, i onda?
Čekaj,
Naravno.
pa završi pjesmu. Neka samo
Zvona zvone.
suze rone.
Mi imamo šampione. Suze rone, zvona zvone, same thing.
No, neka suze rone. Jer
Neke suze će ronit, neka zvona će zvonit.
So for those of you who don't know, Suzarone means the tears are flowing, and they're not flowing for Croatia. They're flowing for the opponents of Croatia.
And the bells are ringing.
Is the purpose of the song. My dad has always made up his own words. So again, here we are. Unfortunately, you know, kind of sad. This is the last video that we're going to be shooting like this, because this is it. This is the final.
Yep.
We're here.
Yep.
And you know what, Dad? Either way, it's an accomplishment for Croatia.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what the final score is. You know, Brazil's at home.
Germany is at home.
All the, you know,
England
so
is at home.
we did it as far as I'm concerned. But with all that being said, what do you think? Final score?
I think we'll go to overtime with penalties.
Yeah, but the penalties again.
Yep.
He's calling penalties again.
That's my flavor.
That sucks. Ugh.
Anyway, I said what I thought.
It's gonna be tough. I'm calling it. I know, of course. I'm calling it 2-1 Croatia.
In regulation time?
In regulation time. It's gonna be a heart attack. My heart's beating fast. Obviously, I'm very nervous. We'll talk to you after the game. Don't worry, I'll keep everyone posted. The club's gonna be absolutely...
We have one logistics problem. It's 10:06 and bar opens at 11.
The bar opens at 11?
So there will be one dry hour before the game. That may spoil the mood. But then we'll catch up quickly after 11 o'clock. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, I didn't say any of that. My dad said that.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking forward in a practical fashion.
All right.
Mimo šampione, neka pati svoga sveta.
You know what? That's the one difference between this team and every other team. They go down, they don't care. They're like, we're just gonna play harder.
Yeah, that's it.
The other old teams would fold. They'd be like, yeah, beat us. We're finished.
We're done.
We're
right?
done.
These guys, it's like you lit one. Now you're gonna see.
Let's put the glasses on like this. What's that? Let's see, like this, like. Where are we going, Veds?